another strong woman making history, changing the world.
Hi, I'm Rosa Parks. Some people call me the mother of the civil rights movement. It all started in 1913 when I was born in Alabama. My parents split when I was still in diapers, so I moved to my grandparents' farm. My grandfather taught me to stand up for what I think is right, and that was important to me when I got older. When I was 19, I married Raymond Parks, who is a member of the NAACP, which stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. The NAACP fought to change the laws of segregation. Segregation means that colored had to be separate from the whites. We had to go to different schools than the whites, and we couldn't go to the same bathrooms. We couldn't even go to drink from the same drinking fountains. And on the buses, there were two doors. The front door was for the whites, and the back door was for the colored. We were allowed to go through the front door to pay our fare, but then we had to go back out through the white door and back in through the colored door and sit in the back of the bus. One day as I was getting on the bus, I was paying my fare, and I saw that I looked down the aisle, and I thought to myself, there ain't no reason why I should get off the bus and get back on through the colored door. And so I just walked down that aisle to the back of the bus. And the driver asked me if I was going to get off the bus and get back on through the colored door. And I said no. And so he angrily got up and pulled on my sleeves. And I knew he had a gun. So I got off the bus. And for 10 years, I did not get on that same bus that white bus driver was driving. And one day, as I was getting on the bus, when I was coming from home to work after working as a seamstress, I got on the bus without looking, and I saw that it was that same white driver. And I didn't want no trouble, so I got on the bus and paid my fare, and I went out the front door and went back in through the back door. And I sat in the front row of the colored section. And then a group of white people came, and one white man was left standing up. And so the white bus driver told the front row of the colored section to give our seats to the white man. And the people in the row next to me all stood up, and I didn't get up. And he asked me if I was going to get up, and I didn't get up for the white man. And so he told me he was going to have me arrested. And I said, I don't care if he had me arrested. And so he called the police, and the police brought me to the jail and took my pictures of me and my fingerprints, and this was my number. And some people think that I didn't give up my seat for the white man because I was just tired of working all day. But the only tired I was tired of giving in. And word got out that I was arrested for refusing to give up my seat for white men, so some colored folks called a meeting in a church one night. And so many people came that the line went all the way out the church. They were just there to hear a young minister who people didn't really know, whose name was Martin Luther King Jr. And he gave a great speech and told all colored folks that they should boycott the Montgomery buses for a day to protest my arrest. The boycott was such a success that they decided to keep it going. I was found guilty for violating the Montgomery segregation laws, which was good, because that meant my case could go to the highest court. The NAACP helped me fight my case, and a year later, the Supreme Court found that the Montgomery Bus Company's segregation laws were illegal. And the court ordered that the buses be integrated, which means from now on, colored could sit wherever we want. The next day, the Montgomery bus boycott ended after 381 days. But our struggle didn't end there. It took another 10 years before we got some other things changed, like being able to go to the same schools or having the same voting rights and other things. And Martin Luther King Jr. led his fight in a peaceful, non-violent way. And 10 years after my arrest, I ended going to work as the assistant for an African American congressman. And I worked for him for 23 years until I retired. But I didn't stop there. I still work with the NAACP, and I am asked to speak at 2,000 places a year. I try to accept at least 100 of those. I also keep getting awards like the Martin Luther King Jr. Nonviolent Peace Prize and the Eleanor Roosevelt Woman of Courage Award and the Congressional Medal of Freedom, which is the highest honor the Congress can give. And right now, I have to leave you boys and girls because the President Clinton is giving me the Presidential Medal of Freedom today. But before I leave, I want to say, if someone asks you who I am, tell them I would like to be known as a person who is concerned about freedom and equality and justice and prosperity for all people.
Questions for Rosa?
Reese?
When did you die?
2005.
Ah,
Just recently, huh?
really?
Yeah.
At age 92.
I didn't know that.
I would like to say thank you, Rosa, for helping to change the world. Wow. Fantastic.